Hey guys, Dr. Michael Derry here today. So we're gonna go over 3 effective core strengthening exercises for lower back pain. I wanna focus on these 3 because we're gonna do some mobility first, then we're gonna get into strengthening, but we're gonna do it in 3 exercises. We're gonna be efficient with our time so we can get the most out of it. So we're gonna go over, first we're gonna go over thread the needle, gain some mobility, we're moving to bird dogs, and we're gonna hit a classic exercise at the end. So hang with me, I wanna go through all 3 of these. Let's go. All right, so hey, we're gonna go over the 3 exercises now. We're gonna start off with what exercise called thread the needle. It's a great mobility exercise, not only for the lumbar spine, but the thoracic and cervical spine. And I've got my lovely wife here to help me today. So we're gonna move into the thread the needle, and I'm gonna walk you through. So get on your hands and knees, get on the floor. You can use a pillow underneath your knees, but we're gonna utilize our table today. So here we go. So she's gonna start bracing with her left hand, and she's gonna reach through and look underneath her, and then she's gonna come through in the other direction. And so some caveats here are as when she reaches through, she really wants to focus on lengthening the thoracic spine, dipping into that range, and then reaching up here. And that stabilization arm that she's on is relatively straight the whole time. So there's a little bit of bend, but you're not collapsing towards the ground. So she's gonna reach through, get that cervical, thoracic, and lumbar mobility. It's kind of just opening things up. How many should you do? You should do about 8 or so, just to get some warmth into the spine, start generating some heat. She's got a couple more here, and then she's gonna switch sides. And so sometimes people have a little bit of wrist pain when they put that much weight through their hand. Just make a fist if you need to. It's okay, it's completely fine. So she's gonna move through on the other side here, and it's relatively straight on this arm, but there's a little bit of bend as she reaches through, and she's gaining some mobility in her upper back and lower back. So we want to be efficient, and this hits both of them. And so she's going to do 6 more here, reaching through. The big thing here that I always have to tell clients is that you want to continue looking at your hand with your head. And so as you can tell, she's reaching through, her head is staying with her hand so she can get that cervical mobility as well. A lot of times people can be comfortable on their hands and knees, and so you just want to get into a comfortable position and do this. Her knees stay underneath her hips so she can remain stacked and get that mobility. And now that you've warmed things up, we're going to move right into the strengthening, so we want to be efficient with our time, so let's keep going. So she's going to go into the bird dog, and so at this point in time, she's going to reach forward with her right hand while she's kind of reaching behind her or towards the wall with her foot. And so as you can tell in this position, so she's going to reach through. It's going to be a good reach to both ends, which is nice. What I love about this is that it's a good endurance exercise, and you have gravity pushing down on you the whole time. So you're getting that strength into the extensors of the back, the small back muscles, her shoulder, her hips. It's kind of hitting everything. A good core exercise to address the front and back of the core. And so the core, including the abdominals and the lower back muscles. And so as you can tell, she's reaching through here. And what I really love about her form is that she's keeping that neck nice and protected. And so she is looking down, kind of extending the crown of her head. So she has a nice long spine here. And so it's not about how high you lift, it's about reaching towards the other ends. And so it's a great, great exercise. Endurance in nature. And so you want to do a few more reps. So I usually recommend about 20 on each side. I don't know if she's hit 20 reps or if she's done both arm and both sides yet, but don't do less just because you don't know. Just keep going. Yeah, she has a great reach here, a good form. She's a physical therapist herself, so she has really good form, but don't worry about it if you can't reach that high. If your back starts to bother you, just take a rest. You want to flirt with that discomfort, but not go past it. And so you're always just want to improve your body and just listen to it as we go. We never work against it. All right, awesome. So her form is really good. So we went over thread the needle, the bird dog, and then we're going to go up to a classic functional strengthening exercise that kind of hits everything. Hang with me, we gotta change positions. All right, so we're gonna hit the last exercise here, and it's just a standard squat. And so with Clara, she doesn't need a chair behind her because her balance is pretty steady. But if you do need a chair, just put it behind you. That's 100% fine, but she's gonna go into the squat now. And so with the squat, you're just gonna have her feet about shoulder width apart. I know you can't see her feet, but you can see her hips, and she can dip down into that range. And so you wanna go a little bit deeper, that's the goal. But just listen to your body. You get a little bit of lumbar flexion at the end of it. So if you do have a little bit of stickiness in your back, don't force pass it. But she's doing the squat and it looks great. And so we're gonna shoot for 2 sets of 15 here, a good burn into her quads, her hips, her lower back. And she looks good doing it. It's really, really good. All right, so now face to the side here. So you can see the side view, so you can tell that she starts that movement with her hips. And so she is sticking her butt out towards the area behind her, acting like she's sitting into a chair, but she doesn't have to necessarily go that far because that's just where she's at. And I'll actually zoom out a little bit here so you can see her depth a little bit more. All right, so she's doing the side view, so we're gonna go down into the depth of the squat. You can see her reaching back, her movements leading with her hips. So she's getting a lot of extensor involvement, not only in her hip extensors, but her lower back, and just working the entire legs. And so great core strengthening exercise because you have to activate your abdominals when you do a squat. You guys have seen people who pick up heavy things for a living. They have a really nice, strong core to help support their lower back. And so she's dipping into that range of motion. Great range. She's lifting the arms forward because that's just her preference, but she doesn't have to do that. She can leave them at her side, whatever you want to do. Sometimes it is a little awkward of what to do with your arms. All right, so the squat's a great exercise, 2 sets of 15 with about a 30-second rest in between, but we went over 3 efficient core strengthening exercises for lower back discomfort. If you guys like that information, we also released a book together that also goes through many more core strengthening exercises to address different areas of the body, as well as help you just be more resilient and a stronger core so you can do more in your life. And so if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in below the description. It's very helpful. And if you guys find this information useful, please subscribe. But like always, stay healthy, keep moving, and take care of yourself.